Hi, my name's Courtney Wilson. After visiting for 34 years, I recently joined this church, and I joined because of the people here.
One of the strengths of this church is that they are open-armed and welcome everybody.
First time I walked in the door, I thought, wow, this is what I've been looking for, without really understanding what I was looking for. It was a very wonderful experience to be in a church where you could say what you really felt and nobody was going to slap you down because, you know, they didn't like what you had to say. They might disagree with you, but there was no attempt to keep you from saying what you thought. And I found that very refreshing.
We came here and found a church family of people who had a variety of points of view. A variety came from conservative and liberal points of view, and could discuss any subject intelligently, and they were at peace.
It's been a very welcoming place to be. I love that it's a very open church. It's redefined in my mind what I always thought a Baptist church was, and definitely in a good way.
It's a very open place. I've been here for about 2 years now, and I grew up Catholic, but you know, the people at this church are very welcoming and kind and good people.
It's family to me. It's my home. I love it dearly.
The church has seen me through every conceivable life change, and it has held me up and loved me and supported me in the darkest hours and the most happy times.
I love this church.
The members of the church have truly become our church family.
I didn't realize how much St. Charles meant to me until we were displaced during Katrina in Houston, when we couldn't be with the church and our church family. And, you know, there was such a huge sense of loss because we were separated, that really came to realize how much this church means to me, and, you know, how much I need this fellowship.
I think this is truly the best church in the whole world, and it's meant so much to me in my life. I wouldn't be the person that I am today without this church. And I hope that it can mean the same thing to my own children and to future generations as it has meant to me.
My hope is that the influx of youth will put me out of a job, because it cannot be a part-time position any longer.
Of course, I'd like to see a full-time youth minister and someone that teaches Sunday school.
I would like to see more people, because I feel like, you know, like most of the times I'm the only one in Sunday school on Sunday.
I would like the youth group to be more active in the community and the church itself.
To have a community where you can support generation after generation of kids, their parents, then, you know, the parents having kids and those kids having kids, I think that would just be really amazing.
I would love for my kids to grow up in a church, in a loving environment, a grace-filled environment, that they are just loved in the new creatures.
I would like to see us be more in the service of the university students, have them be a part of our worship and our work.
There used to be a student lunch every other week. All college students would go out to lunch with a different family in the congregation. And it was nice. It was just a way to get to know people that you didn't really know.
My hope for St. Charles Avenue Baptist Church is that people who are in their 20s and 30s who come here will find the same acceptance, openness, love, support, affirmation that Linda and I found at that age. And we'll find this a place for their home and family.
One thing I'd like to see is an annual or biannual international mission trip. Of course, funded by the church, and then also hopefully sending a lot of members of the church.
One thing that attracted me to St. Charles was when I came here and I found that a lot of people are really personally, actively involved in missions instead of just writing the check once a year for the Lottie Moon Christmas offering and that sort of thing.
My goal for St. Charles Avenue Baptist Church is to find some way to let other people know about this church, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who would love to be a part of this very special church.
I would like to see the church go back to the time being like it was in 1940 when it first came here. All the seats were filled.
That it will grow really giant.
Really, my dream for this church is for all these people to come back that were here before.
I think there's a lot that a lot of us would want to do, but we are all just one person. You know, we're all spread so thin, so if we had more people to help us create these ministries, then that would be a good thing.
I would like to see growth in numbers, but I also would like to see growth in more and more members of the church participating in the activities of the church and the committees, and finding a place where you really feel that your talents can be used and that you would enjoy being. And I think that gives a feeling of vibrancy and enthusiasm to the membership of the church, and is what draws other people to the church.
There's opportunities for everybody to participate, you know, that we have, you know, there's so much work to be done, and regardless of what your talents are, there's a lot of different things that you can do to contribute to the church, and everybody can play a part.
That we would have members who will contribute, be committed to sharing their talents with us, serving on committees, teaching. We have new members who will be committed to contributing to the maintenance of the church and the building.
My hope for the church is that the people who come here and enjoy the service, that they step up to the plate, and that they maybe join in some of the activities in ruling and governing the church, helping with the administration. You know, join a committee, join the trustees, become a deacon.
We do need people to participate. We need more youth, more functioning people to work on committees, as John has mentioned here. So this is one of the things I hope that we can have some more continuity and this kind of thing in the near future.
Providing services, you know, like child care or health care or things of that nature.
I would like for us to consider the role of faith communities in the health system itself, and how we can be instrumental in that process.
My hope and dream for this church is that we learn better how to live up to our calling and actualize that. I dream of a day when there are multiracial, multi-ethnic, financial groups of people in this church, that we have a diversity here that more truly represents the fabulous city in which we live.
What I hope for this church in the future is that we continue to grow with a very inclusive membership, because that is really the best part of this church.
What we have been doing this week, the dialogues that we have been having with the synagogue and our Jewish brothers and sisters, is one of those things that I like to see us do more in the future. Not just with the Jewish community, but also with our Muslim brothers and sisters. With people from other denominations as well. With our African American brothers and sisters in the churches, with the gay community in the city. I would really like for us to, just be involved in the community.
To be more serviceable, I guess, to the community. We become really a vibrant force for renewal in the city, and I think we're headed that way. I'm excited by the things that we're doing right now. You look at the Wednesday night series we've got going on right now about creativity. Not too many churches would do that, and helping us think about our spiritual lives and creativity together. It's very refreshing, and just pursuing how we can be a driving force in the city for renewal.
And I'd like to see it the buildings to become a beehive of activities.
By reaching out and participating in the life of the city, the renewal of the city, as well as our own renewal, not to be navel gazers that sit on the corner of Broadway and St. Charles and let the rest of the world go by.
Then when I started getting more involved in the church years ago, I was really impressed with how progressive the church has been historically in so many social issues, certainly in women's rights and things like that. And I guess that's what I would really like to see for the future of the church, is a continuation of that.
My vision for the church is, of course, we want to grow because we think we have something wonderful to share with our community.
That they would look at St. Charles Avenue and say, well, I know the people at that church, and I know what they stand for, and I know what they're like, and not just look at the building and it's a nice building, but really that they will look at us as a community of faith, as know our faces, hear our voices, and shake hands with us.
In the same manner that Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert sponsored a march on Washington to try to restore sanity to the political process, I love this church because it tries to restore sanity to the name Baptist.
My hope is that we continue the direction we're going and make the most of it.
We have a story to tell, and it's a good one.
My hope is that this church be strengthened because it is needed, always has been.
That this church will continue for another 150 years.